Hello, this is Braylee from Made for Math, and I am so excited to work with you guys today. I am going to be talking today about adding and subtracting integers. So let's get started. The first word I said was integers. Let's define what integers are. Integers are whole numbers and their opposites. Okay? This includes 0. That kind of seems like a mouthful, but let's break it down. Integers are whole numbers. Whole numbers you are probably familiar with. These are numbers with no fractions and no decimals. For example, a whole number could be 1, 2, we could jump up 50, we could even go to 1,000, or maybe even 1,551. Those are all examples of whole numbers. Okay? When we're talking about whole numbers, we're also talking about their opposites. Their opposites are simply the negative numbers. So we could have -1, -2, -50, -1,000, and even -1,551. Those are all examples of integers. Please note that integers also include 0. So let's get started with these integers. For adding and subtracting them, we're going to use these counters. Yellow counters are going to represent a +1. So over here, I have 1. I have 1 counter, and it is positive because it is yellow. Over here, I have 1 counter, but it is a -1 because it's red. We're going to use this online digital manipulative, but we can also get these counters in little foam circles that are red on one side and yellow on the other side. Those we use in our classes a lot as well. With these counters, we often will make a 0 pair. So let's define what a 0 pair is. A 0 pair is any number plus its opposite equals 0. Okay, so for example here, if I did my 1 yellow counter plus my 1 red counter, they would equal 0. It's +1 plus -1 equals 0. So we could cancel those out. Let's use these counters and these 2 vocabulary words to talk about how we add and subtract integers. Let's start here. Here I have 5 yellow counters. That represents 5 as a positive number. I am going to add 2 yellow counters plus 2 yellow counters. Since both of these numbers are positive and I am adding them, I can simply count up how many counters I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I get the answer of 5 plus 2 equals 7. I can represent that by writing out the number, or I can represent it with counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's move on to subtraction. Here, I have a subtraction problem. You can see I have 5 yellow counters still, but this time I am subtracting 2 yellow counters. Subtraction, in this case, means opposite or switch. Our subtraction symbol acts like a switch, and it gives us the opposite of whatever is to the right of the subtraction symbol. So here, if I activate this switch, I'm going to activate it, it's going to make my +2 the opposite of what it was, which would be -2. So now the problem reads 5 plus -2 equals what? Well, this time I don't have all the same color counters, so I need to make those 0 pairs. So here I have a 0 pair, so those will cancel each other out. And here I have a 0 pair, so those will cancel each other out. That leaves me with my answer. 5 plus -2 equals 1, 2, 3. And those are yellow, so I know it's a positive 3. Let's keep working with the subtraction, acting as a switch and causing numbers to go the opposite way. Here's one where I already have some negative integers. So let's read this as is. We have 5 yellow counters, so 5, and I am subtracting this. I have 2 counters, but they are negative. When we have a negative number, we like to put parentheses around it to say that that subtraction symbol stays with that number. It's a -2. Well, I still have my switch here, my subtraction sign, so let me activate that switch. When I activate it, it is going to change these to the opposite. So they are now +2. When I activated that switch, it changed my sentence to 5 plus a +2, which equals 7. Let me show you how this worked. All right, so we had 5 minus a -2. That is equivalent to 5 plus 2. These are equal to each other. That subtraction sign activated, okay, and it switched this to a +2, and it made it 5 plus 2. Let's do another one of these. This time, I'm going to put my negative number first and see how we do that. So here, we read this as -3 plus +2. Well, here, my subtraction sign is over here. It's actually attached to this negative number, so that means it's kind of already been activated. We already have our -3, and we're adding 2. You can see here, I can then find my 0 pairs, so those will cancel out. And these will cancel out. That leaves me with 1 counter left, so -3 plus 2 equals a -1, since my 1 counter is red. Let's do another one. This one's going to have 2 negative integers. Let's read it as is first. I have 4 integers here that are negative, so we have -4. And I am going to subtract, I have 3 integers here, they are red, -3. This symbol is already there. There's nothing to activate. We can't switch it around. There's no negative or subtraction symbol, in front to activate that, so that will stay as -4. But here, we're subtracting the 2. So this subtraction symbol now is going to become activated. We're going to change that to positive. We're going to flip these like a switch would to their opposite, which makes it a +3. So we now have -4 plus a +3. We're going to take out our 0 pairs. Let me delete these off here. Remember, a number plus its opposite equals 0, so those all went to 0. And I am left with 1 red counter, -1. So we can see that the sentence -4 minus a -3 is equivalent to the sentence -4 plus 3. Let's do one more. I'm going to give you time to do it on your own, and then we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to read the sentence as is and write it out, and then I'm going to ask you to pause the video and see if you can do it on your own. So here we have +4. I have 4 yellow counters. We're going to be subtracting a -4 because I have 4 red counters. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can get the answer. How did you guys do? Let's look at this. I have 4 yellow counters. That is a positive 4. I am subtracting, so I am activating my switch to change the numbers over here to the opposite. So this will become positive 4. You can see I activated my switch there. So now I have the sentence 4 plus a positive 4. I can count up my counters, and that equals 8. So 4 minus negative 4 is equivalent to the sentence 4 plus 4. I hope that helped you guys a little bit with adding and subtracting integers. Join us next time when I talk about how to apply the same thinking to adding and subtracting integers on a number line. Hope you guys have fun, and please let us know if you have any questions.